Did you know there's a way to trick your brain into being confident even when you're filled with fear, doubt, and anxiety? And that trick isn't going to be found in a self-help book, but in Dragon Ball Z. After years of studying psychology, reflecting on my own military career, and seeing it play out in Dragon Ball Z, I discovered how you can trick your brain into being dangerously confident. So in this video, I'll show you what that trick is, how to use it to stop self-doubt and overthinking in its tracks, and I'll show you the secret that I learned from Goku and Gohan to build dangerous levels of confidence. But first, I'll show you the mistake that most people make when trying to build their confidence, so you can make sure you can avoid it. In Dragon Ball Z, when Goku first landed on planet Namek, he faced off against the Ginyu Force and eventually their flamboyant leader, Captain Ginyu. During their fight, Ginyu saw how confident Goku was in his strength, so he asked him to show his full power. When he did, Ginyu was shocked by his abilities. So believing that he can win any fight with Goku's body, he stole it. But Ginyu quickly realized he couldn't control Goku's power, and he was just a cheap imitation. So when he attempted to fight, he lost almost immediately. This battle between Goku and Ginyu highlights the mistake that many people make when trying to build their confidence in real life. They seek what is known as external confidence, and Ginyu is a perfect example of what it is and the results of chasing it. Ginyu taking Goku's body reveals that he believed that all his power came from physical strength and power levels. His confidence was built on what he had and not who he was. External confidence is when your sense of confidence comes from outside sources. It'll leave you thinking, if I just do what they do or have what they have, then I'll be confident. But that kind of confidence is built on recognition, achievement, or approval from others, which makes it unstable and bound to fail you just like it did with Ginyu. What you need to do is redirect your focus inward and start building internal confidence. Part of the reason Goku is so confident in his life is because he believes in his own strength and his own abilities to do whatever he sets his mind to. Goku shows us that real confidence is an internal thing and built from the inside out and not dictated by what others see or expect. But how exactly do you build internal confidence? Well, next, I'll show you exactly how to do that. I'm a second lieutenant in the Air Force, and I'm required to juggle a lot of responsibilities, many of which involve me taking on leadership roles. And while being a leader means showing up with confidence, it always wasn't so easy for me. I'd start doubting myself, overthinking every detail, and it showed up in how I perform. I'd fumble my words, hesitate to make decisions, and sometimes I'd let my team down. This cycle kept repeating until I took a step back and realized that something had to change. But that's when it hit me. The problem wasn't the task, it was how I was thinking about myself before I even stepped into the room. When I realized this, I was able to switch gears and change my thoughts to something more positive and encouraging, helping to boost my confidence. This is the first step you need to take in order to trick yourself to be confident. You have to become aware of your thoughts and feelings. But how exactly do you do that? You have to start by being completely honest and open with yourself. Ask, what is the real reason I doubt myself? And when do these thoughts usually show up? This helps you get to the source of the doubt and overthinking that's holding you back. Write it down if you can. The goal is to first simply observe it. Once you identify the pattern, you need to actively reaffirm yourself when those thoughts come up. Don't let them run unchecked. Just like Vegeta did after he lost to Android 18, he had a moment of doubt, but he was able to catch himself in his doubtful patterns and reaffirm who he was based on his own abilities. For you, this can look like affirmations or little mantras you say to yourself whenever you're experiencing doubt. This process of noticing your thoughts, stepping back, and choosing how to respond to them is known as metacognition, which is essentially thinking about your thinking. It's how you take control of your doubtful thoughts instead of letting it control you. Although being aware and using affirmations can help you challenge your doubt, that alone won't make you confident. So next, I'll show you the final step that will truly solidify your internal confidence. Since the very beginning of Dragon Ball, all the way through Dragon Ball Super and beyond, Goku has lost many fights. He's been beaten, outclassed, and pushed to the brink of death more times than he can probably count. And no matter how hard he gets knocked down, he's able to get back up again and never once questions his own abilities. But how is Goku able to do this despite all of his losses? He has plenty of evidence from past wins to support him whenever he needs to get back up and fight. This reflection has helped Goku build self-efficacy, which is the belief in your own ability to succeed. So we need to take a page out of Goku's book whenever we're trying to grow our own confidence. One of the main ways we build self-efficacy is through mastery of experiences, where you start providing proof to yourself that you're capable of succeeding. To do this, you need to reflect on your own wins that you've already had in your life, or start creating small wins to yourself and keep track of them. By doing this, you build a track record of your own progress just like Goku has. That track record becomes real proof for you to lean on, and it makes your affirmation stronger because you're not just saying that you're capable, you've already shown that you are. The thing is, even if you apply what I just told you, you still might find yourself second guessing your every move. So I'm going to show you what Gohan did to prevent this and trick himself into being dangerously confident so you can do it too. Gohan is Goku's firstborn son, but unlike Goku, he was a character who was timid and full of self-doubt for a good portion of his life. He was constantly forced to face challenges and enemies far beyond his level at the time, such as the Saiyans and later Frieza on planet Namek, and it deeply scared him. That fear often caused him to doubt himself and kept him from taking meaningful actions during those battles. But somehow Gohan was able to grow into a confident warrior despite all those shortcomings. But how was he able to do this? Gohan was influenced by the power of auto-suggestion. He had people like Piccolo and Goku in his corner, encouraging him during the battles with the Saiyans and later against Cell. He was constantly surrounded by pressure, support, and belief in his potential. Over time, that environment started to rub off on him. It helped him grow and eventually believe in himself, shaping him into the confident warrior that he would eventually become. This works because your brain begins to shift your identity based on your environment and who you spend the most time with. Knowing that, we can also use the power of autosuggestion to our advantage by surrounding ourselves with people or consuming media that promotes confidence and growth. You can start to trick your brain to think that this is who you are and who you need to become in order to fit in, succeed, and be accepted. When we combine the power of autosuggestion with the previous steps of self-awareness and action, you create the conditions for lasting confidence to take root in your life. And now that you know how to trick your brain into being confident, you also need to learn how Dragon Ball Z forces your brain to stop doubting yourself, or else your confidence will fall apart. So click on this video on your screen now to learn what that trick is.